All right. Shalom. First and foremost, as always, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Yeah, I want to do a video on this article. It's about 2 weeks old, but it's still relevant because it happens. I believe this article came out sometime this year, and even if it's maybe a year old or not, it's still relevant because this is what the times that we're coming into. This is what's fastly approaching. We're seeing the infrastructure being set up and how they're making things and normalizing things, dealing with Revelation in the 13th chapter and 16th verse. And this is what this article goes into, that how they're normalizing things, doing things in society to normalize, bringing this out eventually, as you'll see in the article. All right. So as you can see, it says Amazon palm scanning payment system expands into more Whole Food stores, which, if I'm not mistaken, I think Amazon did something sometime last year where they have something set up. I'm not entirely sure how it goes into. I think the article, when we read it, might go into it a little bit, but I think this is something a little different. But I remember it was either Amazon or Whole Foods or some marketplace where it had something like a shopping cart, and you just put items in your shopping cart and it would just ring it up for you. Lord's willing, if I could find that, maybe I'll do a video on that as well. I'll put up like a little small video of it on the channel. But I remember it might have been Amazon or Whole Foods, one of those type of places. I have a feeling it might have been Amazon, where you just throw things into your cart, your shopping cart, and will ring up the price and total it all up for you after you're done. After you're done shopping, and you won't even have to, go to a cash register. But as you can see, I'll just read it again. It says Amazon's palm scanning payment system expands into more Whole Food stores. It says while Amazon has rolled out its palm scanning payment system in stages over the last few years, the company is now expanding the number of Whole Food stores that are required with its latest technology. Amazon has expanded its Amazon One payment system to nearly 70 Whole Food locations across California, marking the company's biggest expansion of the technology to date. Last year, Amazon rolled out Amazon One in Whole Foods locations in Seattle and other parts of Washington state. Then earlier this year, the contactless payment option was made available in New York City, and Austin, Texas. Right, I'm just going to go out through other places as well, right? It says the technology is geared towards speeding up the shopping process and making things more convenient for shoppers. It also builds on Amazon's Just Walk Out efforts, which have been implemented at Amazon Fresh stores and some Whole Foods locations across the country. This system allows customers to scan their credit cards upon entering a store, take whatever they want off shelves, and walk out without stopping at a cash register. Sensors on the shelves track what shoppers take, and the initial credit card scans accounts for their payment. So it's going into how does this system work. It says, how do shoppers utilize Amazon One? I guess they were explaining something else, which I think might have been what I was talking about earlier with the taking items off the rack and putting them into your shopping cart, and it just prices it out for you there. I think that's what they might have been talking about. I believe this one is something different. It says, how do shoppers utilize Amazon One? To get started, consumers need to scan their palms on an Amazon One device and provide a credit card number and phone number, right? So we know that Revelation 13:16 goes into, and I'll break it down as well, goes into when you go into the word charagma, charax, and grapho, basically charagma is the cutting, charax is the pale or palisade, which is basically the delivery system or the sharp instrument that's used to perform charagma, which is to cut into the flesh or cut into something. And then grapho is basically the information with writings not to be forgotten, right? But here, just to show you how they're setting up the system, Poeo, which it means to form, fashion, to make ready. They're making the minds of the people ready, because you can't just bring this out and just slap this in people's faces. Now you got to slowly get people to accept contactless payments. You got to slowly get people to accept doing things with their hands and things like that. You got to normalize this, like they've been saying. Sometimes they say the new normal. Well, this is the new normal where you have to normalize this, get people used to doing this, so that way they can see, oh, this is just normal. This is how things are always going to be now. Right? Like the scriptures say, train up a child in the way he should go and he shall not depart. Well, Esau is trying to be like a father and do that. And basically saying, hey, in order for me to get people to agree with this, or for them to find this normal, I have to slowly introduce this to them, so that way they find it normal. So that way when I come out with what I really want to come out, it's not anything new. It's what we've been doing for a while now. And even before this, you've had the credit card. So it's like, really, some people are not going to see this as a big deal, because it's like we haven't been paying with real money for a while now. You still have the option to do that today, but you just swipe your card or you tap it. Even things like that, they've been recently having the tap and goes type stuff, especially on the train. So it's like people are going to look at it like, yo, this is just like they say, the future, So what's the big deal? How could this be something harmless? It says this serves as the sign-up process, which Amazon promises will take less than 1 minute. After that, shoppers are ready to go and pay with the tap of their palms. Once registered, shoppers need to simply scan their palms at checkout. There's no need to take out a credit card or fumble for change, right? I'll read that again. It says, once registered, shoppers need to simply scan their palms at checkout. Basically, use their hands. Now, again, understand that I'm not saying that this is that this is it. This is Revelation 13 and 16. But you see how, matter of fact, let's just go into it. Like it says here, Revelation 13 and 16, and he calls it all. When you go into our word calls it, it's poeo, which means one of the definitions here is to make ready, to prepare. So you see how we're doing things like this on this Amazon. They're getting people prepared. They're preparing the minds of people to start doing things with the scan of their hand. All right, it says the palm, but where's your palm on your hand, right? Right. So they're getting people prepared by using your hand and doing things without the transaction of paying with your credit card or paying with your money. No, just swipe your hand and you can go you could go with your groceries. Swipe your hand and you can go with your items or whatever you purchased. All right, this is how the transaction is going to be made. This is how buying and selling is going to be done in the future. This was John the Revelator saw. This is how, as it says, just go through it. Come on, what happened? As we keep going, it says Revelation 13 and 16, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. Right, so with this new system that they're setting up there in Amazon, you're seeing that you can't come in there. I mean, for now, you can come in there probably with cash and say, hey, but the way they're setting up, imagine if they set up this system permanently and say, listen, if you come in there with money, right, they set up the system permanently where it's cashless, and you come in there with money, they're like, sir, this is not the system anymore. This is not how we do things. You just have to swipe your hand over stuff. Your cash money is not good here anymore. We don't do that system over here. Right, so they're not going to be able to. They're not going to be able to sell you your goods, and you're not going to be able to buy them. And this was John the Revelator was seeing. He was seeing that without this small device that was going to be put in the right hand or in the foreheads or anywhere in your body of people, that they wouldn't be able to complete a transaction of buying and selling. They wouldn't be able to buy anything, and the people or whoever wouldn't be able to sell them anything unless you had this small implantable device put within you. As we went through the words earlier, when you go into our word mark, the word mark in the Greek goes to charagma, which is basically the etching or cutting. The root word of that is charax, which is the pale or palisade, which is basically the sharp instrument, right, or the delivery system. And then grapho is the root word of charax, which meant, there was one definition. Sorry, that was specific. See, this B definition says to commit to writing things not to be forgotten, write down, record. So on that small device is going to have your subdermal device, whether you put in your right hand, whether people put in their right hand on their forehead, is going to have the information not to be forgotten. It's going to have your credit card information. It's going to have your medical records, everything to be able to identify you, right, with information that does not need to be forgotten. Now, I've also heard some people think that the Lord's willing, you understand what I mean, the rolling up of the sleeves that people had to do for almost 2 years now was the MOTB, but that is not. But like I'm going to explain that it takes the same similar process, the act of when you had to, roll up the sleeves, the maxination, Lord's willing, they don't take down the video. But the rolling up of the sleeves, when people had to do that, it's still the same process. Yes, you had to, the delivery system was, which was the syringe, it cut into your flesh, performing charagma. But you have to understand that there was nothing left in there except for a liquid. Liquid doesn't hold information. Liquid doesn't hold things not to be forgotten. It was just a liquid substance that was put within you. A poisonous liquid substance, but a liquid substance nonetheless. Right? But this, what John Revler was seeing, that we're seeing them also implement through technology, like it has over there in Sweden, is that this small implantable device that's going to have your information, your record, things not to be forgotten, your information, your important information to identify you, so that way you can be able to buy and sell. So that way, like if this system is set up at Amazon, they're able to sell you things and you're able to buy things with this small thing that has your records on it, your information on it. So that way you would be able to function in society. So that's how you prove that the rolling up of the sleeves that people had to do is not the MOTB. That's not what John Revler saw. Although it is similar, but like I said, a liquid substance does not hold information. What holds information today? Technology. Technology is what has all your information on it. Like right now, I'm using a phone. And on my phone, on this device, it has my information not to be forgotten. So that way I can do things with it. I can do the same things. Well, I don't know about some things, but if I use an Uber, if I want to pay with my credit card, whatever, I could use my phone because it has my records and information on it. Now, what they want to do is take that and just make it smaller into a grain of rice and put that subdermally inside of your body, under your skin, either on your right hand or on your forehead or anywhere in your body. It doesn't matter. But predominantly, let's just not be stupid. 'Cause I know sometimes some people may say, oh, I got it in my left butt cheek or so. No, let's not be stupid, because predominantly people are going to get it in their either the left or right hand or in their foreheads. You're not going to get it in your shoulder, because let's just be honest, when you go to a cash register and they got to scan it or whatever, you're not going to pull up your shoulder or whatever, or your back, or put your cheek on the register or whatever and say scan it. So let's not be foolish and things like that. It's going to be predominantly one of the hands, predominantly the right hand, or the forehead. You're not going to use your arm and say scan my arm or something like that. No, it's going to have to be the hand or the forehead. But just wanted to bring out this article to show you how they're poeo right now, making ready, preparing the minds of the people to accept doing things with your hand. And this is what John the Revelator saw. Because what? He saw that no man could buy or sell without what? Them putting that device in the body, and then they were going to be able to buy things, and people were going to be able to sell them things. But unless you didn't have this, you weren't able to function and do that. You weren't able to make that transaction. So basically, John the Revelator saw transactions happening, and if you didn't have this item inside of your placed inside your body, you weren't able to complete transactions like other people. Like it says, save he that had the mark were able to do transactions. Let me read this again. So it says, once registered, shoppers need to simply scan their palms at checkout. There's no need to take out a credit card or fumble for change. See, contact, cashless. Sorry. Your palm is made up of tiny, distinct features on and below the surface, right? Below the surface, which is what? In the hand. Many that are indiscernible, hopefully I'm saying that right, to the human eye or standard camera. The Amazon website states in seconds a process of proprietary imaging and computer vision algorithms capture and encrypt your palm image. Amazon One uses the information embedded in your palm to create a unique palm signature that can read each and every time you see it. Right? So you're seeing here that what? Again, I'm not saying that this is the MOTB. This is not that small device that they want to put in your body. But again, like I was saying, they're getting the people's mind ready to do what? To do things with the palm of their hands. And that's what this Amazon One thing, this contactless payment system that they have at certain Whole Foods is what? You just right now, right? They just have it to where you just give in your information, your credit card and your phone number, right? Those are things that are not to be forgotten, right? They put it on the system, and then for however they do it, I don't know, but then you just go to the register after you've bought everything and you just wave your hand, or the machine scans your hand, and then there you go. Lord's willing, I'll find the video to tie this, because I seen this on Instagram somewhere where they were talking about it. So Lord's willing, look, not, I wouldn't say for a part 2, but, or maybe I'll put like a slight part 2 to it. After this, Lord's willing, I could find it on Instagram. I believe I saved it, so that way, you can see exactly how it went through in the little, like I think it's like a little minute, maybe minute and a half video I'll find on Instagram of how it went down. But when you look at it on, when I looked at it through the video, they waved their hand, or the device scanned their hand, and then they were able to, the transaction was completed. So you see, this is just proof that this is what is, not saying this exactly, but this is how people are going to be able to buy, basically this is the future, not contactless, cashless society, to where there's going to be a device used, because you can't just run up in the store and just take what you want. No, this is how you're going to be able to buy and sell. This is how you're going to be able to take part in the agora, in the marketplace. When you go into that word buy in the 17th verse in the Greek, it's the agora, which is the marketplace, which is what? Where you buy and sell, where transactions are made. This is how you're going to be able to do that, through technology, through a small device being implanted in your body. And that's what the 16th verse goes into. Them putting that small device in you with information not to be forgotten, your records. And then with that, when you go to the 17th verse, this is how you're going to be able to complete transactions. This is how you're going to be able to function society, by going to the agora, the marketplaces, going to the grocery stores or whatever, and be able to, these companies or these stores being able to sell to you, because you have this embedded inside your body, and you being able to buy with it. And if you don't have it, they won't be able to sell you anything, and you won't be able to buy with it, because this is how transactions will be made in the future. And you see them preparing, when you go back to the 16th verse, which is poeo, them fashioning or making the minds of the people ready to accept these things, getting the people's mind ready to see that this is just normal. This is normal of life. This is how it's always going to be, the future, as they say. So how could this be so harmless? But it is harmless, and Lord's will I get the 14th chapter of Revelation, because receiving that is basically hellfire, and not you going to hell, but nuclear fire, basically. So I'll read out the rest of this. It says, to get the most out of Amazon One, shoppers can link their Amazon accounts to their unique Amazon One handprints. This will allow them to receive all of the benefits and discounts that Prime members typically get when shopping with Whole Foods. There are also no fees associated, basically benefits you get with this. All right, Blue Letter, chill out. So basically, benefits. That's what you usually get with Amazon Prime anyways. 'Cause I think my mother has Amazon Prime and you get little knickknacks and benefits here and there. I think like free shipping or something like that. So let's just go over this one more time because this is important. And I apologize for, uh, saying goes, repetition is the father of skill. But again, he calls it all. We know the he is these elites, the top banking families. You want to call them Illuminati, whatever, right? They are that he. Esau, Edom says, cause it all. Basically, cause it meaning poeo, which is what? Make ready to prepare. What is he going to do? When you go into that word all, it's pas, which is individually or collectively, which the individuals and collectively are the people. So he's preparing, making the people ready, right? Really, collectively is the whole, because that's who he wants. Because when you continue, it says all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. So really, it's collectively, he wants to get everybody to receive, right, a charagma or a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And when you go into that word mark again, which is charagma, which is the cutting into the flesh, the etching, right? Then you go into the root word of charagma, which is charax, which is the pale palisade stake, which is basically the instrument that's going to be used to perform charagma, which the modern instrument today to put something into your body would be a syringe, a needle. And then the root word of charax, which is grapho, which is things to be written on paper, not to be forgotten, a record. So it's going to it's going to have your information on it. And what holds people information today? Not a white woman, not Christianity, not an embargo, right? Not sin, but a small device, technology. It's going to be a small subdermal device that's going to be put within people's body through a syringe. That's why they're going to. That's how you're going to be able to buy and sell in the future. And as you can see with this article, they're preparing the people's minds to accept that right now with this Amazon One contactless or Palm contactless payment system they have set up. That is not the MOTB, but you're seeing that they're getting people ready for it. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the charagma or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Right? So Lord's willing, I'll remember to put this article in the description box. And Lord's willing, this was edifying. Didn't want to make this a long video, just wanted to go straight to a point, but just have to reiterate because this is very important. Oh, right, I was going to say I was going to get I did say I was going to get the 14th chapter, but just wanted to go over this again because this is very important for your salvation. So that Lord's willing, we don't take this. We have to pray for the Spirit not to take this, not to fall in temptation. Because this is spoken about. I wouldn't say it's spoken about, but we know that Revelation 3:10 talks about because you have kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell therein. And this is what's going to be tempting people, because people are going to know, because people already know now. But what in that time, it's going to be a scarcity of food, famine. There's going to be all hell breaking loose, and this is going to be seen as something that is going to benefit people in that time. But with the spirit of understanding, Isaiah 33:6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. We understand not to take these things, because if you do, this is what's coming for you. Revelation 14:9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his charagma in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the heavenly Father, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. What is the wrath of the heavenly Father? Nuclear missiles. That is the hell that everybody thinks that's coming. No, it's not actual hell like you going, deep underneath ground that people believe in. There's no such thing as hell. But the hellfire to come is nuclear fire that the Lord is going to throw. Well, let me not say throw, but the nuclear fire that's going to be put upon America. That's going to be the judgment for taking this. And the Heavenly Father is working on World War III to basically make that happen, so that that judgment can happen upon the people who receive that, specifically you Israelites, because you other Edomites don't matter, you other nations don't really matter if you take it or not. As we once told the Persian guy that walked up to us, hearing what we had to say about it when we talked to him about it. This was months ago. It doesn't matter about what you heathens do. Really, it matters about you Israelites. You Israelites take this. This is that damnation. This is that judgment for those who receive it. Right? It says, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, which the Lamb is talking about Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Right? So that's how, that's the judgment for taking that. So yeah, that's it. Lord's willing, this was edifying, short and straight to the point. Want to give all, as always, want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Lord's willing, I can find that video on Instagram, and I'll pretty much make it like a part 2 to this, to where you can see how the system, or how they have it working with this Amazon One thing in these Whole Food stores. So, Shalom.